Jackie on Big Breakfast, Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning
from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, government ready to offer more funds to have TV coverage of Sevens rugby. Hotel employee dies in early morning road accident. And police force prioritizes training of officers next year. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The government has revealed it still is prepared to offer World Rugby more money for television rights in its bid to have the International Sevens broadcast in Fiji. Attorney General Aisaid Qayyum confirmed this with FBC News and also with Parliament today in response to questions from the opposition on why the people are being deprived of watching Sevens rugby. Chanel Sivan reports.
The Fijian government offered more to World Rugby through the New Zealand Rugby Union last Friday to get the Dubai Sevens feed into Fiji. Aisaid Qayyum says the New Zealand Rugby Union is now negotiating for Fiji with World Rugby.
We had some feedback yesterday through secondary parties in New Zealand, so we hope to send some correspondence again today and in fact look at perhaps putting it on the table directly to them as we had offered it through Rugby New Zealand, some additional funds, and see if we can offer that now and see what they say.
Opposition member William Ngavoka this morning in Parliament moved a motion to repeal the Decree 19 of 2014, the television cross-carriage decree, but this was not approved.
The people of Fiji don't want any clarification. They want that to be repealed. They want the Sevens to be sown. I think we need to appeal to IRB. They are the ones who really control this, and they are the ones who have been doing wonders for Fiji. Everything they make is shared by all the rugby people in the world. We should protect the revenue base for IRB because it comes back to us, it helps us. So really, I would urge government to pull out of this decree and find an accommodation to suit IRB so that we can all see Sevens.
According to reliable sources, Fiji Television Limited has paid close to $1 million for the coverage of the Sevens series, a substantial amount from a country with less than 1 million population, and with a company that made a loss last year of over $1 million. Advertising industry experts say the costs of such a magnitude is impossible to recover.
When we had the meeting with the chairman of Fijian Holdings Limited and the CEO of Fijian Holdings Limited, who are the majority shareholders in Fiji Television, we did say to them that we believe that some of the information that is going to World Rugby is being given by some of the management team at Fiji TV, who have been, as we know, opposed to cross-carriage.
With only 2 days left for this weekend South African Sevens, there's bound to be a lot of negotiations happening behind the scenes to get this leg broadcast to Fijian viewers. The government, however, is adamant that it'll stick by its new law, a law that's been borrowed from other jurisdictions like Singapore and the UK, a law that's not unique to Fiji. The same rules apply in these countries to ensure equality, with maximum citizens getting access to important national and sporting events. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
A 24-year-old hotel worker has lost her life in a road accident in Walubei, Suva early this morning. The victim was in a company vehicle which allegedly hit a power pole on Foster Road. Between 5 a.m. and 5:30 a.m., the bus carrying about 20 staff allegedly hit a power pole. The driver and passengers were conveyed to the CWM hospital where the 24-year-old woman was pronounced dead. The GPH management is yet to issue a statement, although it said it would today. An investigation has begun into the accident. The 2015 national budget has been passed in Parliament. This means the Procurement Office and government ministries can now begin projects earmarked for next year. However, as Chanel Sivan reports, the vote on the budget ended on an interesting note.
The Parliament has now passed the 2015 budget.
For the first time in the history of Fiji's parliamentary democracy, A national budget was passed without an opposition. This was after all the opposition members walked out of parliament yesterday. Finance Minister Yas Syed Khayoum says the decision by the opposition to withdraw is deeply disappointing. However, he says the government is ready to serve all Fijians and fulfill the promises laid out in the Fiji First manifesto.
The government has a job to do. We want supply to be approved because we can then start calling for tenders, because we know the figures are there. So Fiji Procurement Office can start working the ministries from next week. We'll obviously start cracking on because I'm sure the people who want water in Nandi, they want the pipes laid quickly.
Syed Khayoum says this is not the time for fun and games, and the government respects the electorate and will not slacken off because of the diversion created by the opposition.
Frankly, they have not just let down all Fijian people, but in particular those Fijian people who voted for them. They have been put there to keep all sides, in check, and here they are walking out of it.
Government members celebrated the passing of the budget last evening. Meanwhile, the opposition said they will not participate in any parliament sitting related to the budget. This is, however, too late.
We cannot go along with something that we know is not legal, is not according to the Constitution, and is not right for us to work with and to agree to or to support this budget.
The opposition has decided to make a point by not being part of the rest of the process in relation to the budget.
Even though the opposition says they cited 16 errors in the 2015 budget, with them walking out of parliament is a first for Fiji and has gone down in the history books. This is also the fastest passage of the budget through a Fijian parliament. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
The Fiji police force is overwhelmed with the amount of funds allocated in the 2015 budget. Shireen Lata reports the $120 million allocation is much higher than what the force expected.
Police Commissioner Ben Honewell says an effective police force can only achieve its goal if it has enough resources. With the huge amount received in the 2015 budget allocation, the force hopes to further improve its services.
Our baseline for 2015 was 105 million and we received 120 million. That is, to us, it's a huge improvement.
Honewell says he will ensure that the money is used in the right places.
75% of your budget is being used for your salary and allowances, and only 25% of that is being used for your operational purposes.
Providing training for the officers is a priority for next year. Other priority areas include transportation for the force.
There are specific priorities, the building of a new police station, your normal operational expenses. So we cannot just use the money. It is allocated for a specific segment, and you can only use it within that segment.
The $120 million allocation is an increase of $8 million compared to last year. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
It'll take more than a week for a quick fix to be put in place for the broken Cunningham sewer line in Suva. Minister for Infrastructure Pia Tikundoandoa says the incident should have been expected given the aged and eroded pipes which are managed by the Water Authority of Fiji. The health hazard has also prompted the Ministry of Health to direct residents to relocate where possible. Maggie Boyle reports.
It was to be expected. According to the Infrastructure Minister, Pio Tikundoandoa, this major sewer line was unable to tame the force of nature, so to speak, bursting on the weekend.
Justification of why we need to invest in water, particularly in the infrastructure and the management of our assets. That pipe that broke is 50 years old, with no set of life extensions to that pipe.
Tikundoandoa says a temporary fix will now be implemented.
We will have a temporary solution up to cater for the waste disposal across the bridge in about 7 to 9 days. That is getting a temporary pipe to hold it off. Fiji Roads Authority with Water Authority of Fiji are working together to do that.
The health hazard has prompted the Ministry of Health to suggest relocation.
Our advice to the public would be residents located within 60 meters either side of the riverbank refrain from using the river for any purposes, whether it's recreational, especially with cuts and sows, or social, religious, daily activities, especially for drinking. I mean, they refrain from doing so. And along with that, bad smell being emitted by the sewer line and discharged down the river. So those households that have other dwellings or relatives that they may visit should do so if they cannot stand the smell or they are affected by it. Like I said, it might take another week.
If anything, this incident has highlighted the country's aged and eroded infrastructure, which Tikundundua says is now being bumped up the priority list. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Damaged roads estimated at $5 million. That's coming up.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
And news to hand, members of the public are being asked to avoid the Colonial War Memorial Hospital, the Lami Health Centre and the Raiwanga Health Centre because of the damage to the water supply caused by the recent heavy rains. While certain cases are still being accepted at the CWM, the hospital's clinics such as dental, eye, oncology and gynecology have been temporarily closed. The Health Ministry is asking members of the public who need to access these services to visit health centres which still have an adequate water supply instead. They include Valelevu, Nasinu, Makoi, Wanimbokasi, Nausori and Navua. Health Minister Chone Usumate says the ministry is closely monitoring the situation and is working with the Water Authority of Fiji to ensure that members of the public continue to have access to health services. The Fiji Roads Authority estimates the road damage bill from last weekend's flash flooding to be about $5 million. Roads were damaged in the Tailevu and Rakiraki areas. Rishika Kumar has the details.
The Fiji Roads Authority is still assessing the condition of the flood-hit roads and bridges, but it confirms that substantial damage has been done.
Some Irish crossings have had their approaches washed out. A lot of loss of gravel off some of the rural roads, and we've got at least one approach to a bridge that has part of the approach washed out. So, you know, that's sort of what we would expect as a result of the heavy rain that we've had.
Jill Nichols says FRA officials are still on the ground clearing debris from some roads, and they are also filling approaches to Irish crossings.
Some of the crossing approaches could be up to a fortnight away, and then that will basically reinstate all access around, you know, the areas that are cut off at the moment around the country, hopefully by the end of next week. But there will be ongoing work for almost months as a result of this, with just fixing up slips and dropouts that are not currently closing the road but will need to be repaired.
Nichols says some roads are still underwater and will only be assessed once the water levels recede. Rashika Kumar, FBC News.
About $2 million will be spent on constructing and repairing roads on Kandavu. Infrastructure Minister Tikundua has confirmed this is in response to a question raised by the opposition in Parliament. Rashika Kumar again with more on the story.
The first quarter of 2015 could see major changes to roads on the island of Kandavu. The changes could see roads and pavements in places like Namwana, Tavuki and Ravitaki.
The roads in Kandavu is maintained by the Ministry of Rural Development and also in conjunction with our maintenance contractor, which is Fulton Hogan.
Tikundua says the Vunisea jetty will also be reconstructed at a cost of $2.9 million. Responding to questions raised by the opposition yesterday, the minister said $375,000 has been allocated for roadworks, while $1.5 million in 2015 and $1.5 million in 2016 will be used for general repair of rural roads.
At the moment, the Republic of Fiji Military Forces engineers are doing work in this area, and in conjunction with the FRA, will coordinate a better effort to ensure that the safe and reliable roads are provided not only on these islands but also on these roads that I mentioned, but in the other networks within the island of Kandau.
Infrastructure Ministry has allocated a total of $20 million for the improvement of rural roads next year. Rashika Kumar, FBC News.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption says Anti-Corruption Day should be a time to reflect on the work that it has done to tackle corruption. FICAC organised several roadshows around the country to raise awareness about the ills of corruption. Savara Tumbua has more.
Since its establishment in 2007, FICAC has taken 98 cases to court.
Yes, we have achieved a lot in our own way, and we have prosecuted 75 cases in that 7 years, sorry. And this we have over here is the proactive arm of FICAC.
Bukarau says the public must be engaged in the fight against corruption.
I think it's the duty of parents, firstly, to teach their children at home. And that's very important, that you understand everything starts at home.
I think Fiji police force should strengthen their duties and work out ways in which corruption can be addressed.
There are currently 63 cases brought on by FICAC before the courts. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
Preparations for the Island Vibes 2014 concert is going smoothly, as all the performers will be in the country by the end of this week. Hawaiian band Hot Rain and the Common Kings, Tanel and DJ Osno will arrive on Thursday, while J Bog will be in the country on Friday. International singing sensation Fiji is expected to arrive on Sunday morning. Event promoter Rajneel Sharma says people of Fiji can expect a world-class performance as well as a presentation and production of equal standard.
The engineers who will be engineering the whole show will be coming a day earlier. They will arrive on Thursday with the Hot Rain, so they are able to have a good background check and run through all the sound check and the production equipment that we have available in Fiji to give a tantalizing show that has never been done.
The Island Vibe concert will be this weekend. Tickets can be bought from FBC, Bulachino, Broadway Fiji, and all value phone outlets. Victoria Cafe and Trap Spa and costs range from $30 to $100 for VIP tickets. And sports is up next. Jamie, what do you have for us?
I see you're already excited about the concert there, aren't you? Anyway, in sports tonight, FRU maintains that it cannot prevent Sevens players from taking up overseas contracts. And Fiji under-15 AFL side record big wins at the Oceania Cup tournament in Suva. We'll have this and more after the break.
Sarwanduru na kaloko na Radio Fiji 1 and Domi Viti na bunga ni Binyano. Nisambula binaka na ngono boro taki ni rongo seri na ngono nindreko malolo. Nisambula binaka. Oye wa meli kilangi. Ningina magatu mana nungu bengi rawi maina moni tiki na warombuka na rua kina wana kaloko na ngona ni rongo mani besana. Waki na wano na ngona ni rongo seri na Radio Fiji 1 na Domi Viti na bunga ni Binyano.
Welcome back. The Fiji Rugby Union has reiterated that it does not have the power to stop Sevens players from taking up big value contracts. FRU Chief Executive Ranronro Tambolevu made the comments as the national side continues to lose Sevens players to overseas clubs. He adds at the end of the day, it's up to the players to decide.
At this point in time, very difficult to compete against $50,000 for 6 months. And then on the other hand, you have players like our skipper, Mr. Jose Colinsau, putting Fiji first and continuing to be a wonderful ambassador for all of us.
Meanwhile, the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team continues training in South Africa for the tournament this weekend. The Fiji Under-15 side is on track to make the finals of the Australian Football League Oceania Cup tournament underway in Suva. The team had 2 wins out of 2 matches today and is proving to be the side to beat in the tournament. Rohit Deo has more.
After winning the Lightning Carnival tournament yesterday, the Fiji under-15 side wants to win the Oceania Cup as well and make it 2 out of 2 within a week. The Fiji team's charge was led by the captain, who thinks those who play rugby can easily adapt to this sport.
Yes, this sport is more safer than rugby. Rugby is a lot of rugged game. So this sport's what we know about it. It take you more places that you can dream that you will go there for your life.
Fiji won their first match, thrashing Vanuatu 73-8, after which the team accounted for Tonga 34-19. The Fiji officials are trying their best to develop the sport, knowing that a lot of skills are required to play the sport.
In this sport, it's a multi-skill sport. It has the skills of soccer, basketball, rugby, American football. So it's very easy for a rugby player to come and adapt to this particular sport. All they have to know is the skills and the rules, that's all.
Fiji takes on the Pacific All-Stars in their next match on Thursday and will qualify for the finals if they win that match. The team is already making headlines in the sport in the region and are definitely going to be a team hard to beat in the years to come. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
A special amateur boxing program will be staged in Levuka Oval this Friday. The program is aimed at reviving boxing not only in the country but in the old capital as well. Talendao Dakadaka has more.
23 boxers from the Central Division will travel to Levuka on Thursday for a special program. The sluggers, most of whom will be in the under-16 age grade, will go toe-to-toe with fighters from the old capital, and the event carries much weight in reviving amateur boxing.
Invitation was extended previously from Levuka, and it coincides with our program of reviving amateur in the country.
The event will be held on Friday as the perfect climax to the National Heritage Week celebrations in Levuka.
I was told this morning that there's great expectations with a few posters that have gone up, and we said we are currently preparing our team that will be going across.
The program begins at 2 p.m. on Friday at the Peveli Hall. Organizers are expecting a large turnout to witness some spectacular action in the ring. Talento Takatak, FBC Sports.
Former bar football striker Sunny Issa is set to make his debut for New Zealand club Auckland City on Thursday. This as City takes on Moghreb in the FIFA Club World Cup, and the deadly marksman is looking forward to playing for City. He adds he is thankful to Auckland City for helping him achieve his dream to feature on the world stage.
Shocked to hear from him that he really need me to join Auckland City, but yeah, he was nice to me. Every day he called me to try to find out what is going on, so yeah, I'm really happy for that.
How have people reacted, like your family and friends, to the news that you've made it to the Club World Cup?
Well, yeah, true, because when I called back my family back home, they were really happy for me. They tell me to work hard, to train hard, you know, so yeah, and my friends, they're really happy for this move. Yeah, I'm happy too. Yeah.
That was your sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
64 companies with a consistent history of taxation compliance have been issued with Gold Card certificates by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority. Today's event also saw the renewal of Gold Card membership as well as the inclusion of 35 new members. The Gold Card Premium service is to reward deserving FIRCA customers who have been compliant in the past few years.
It recognizes entities and individuals who have a consistent history of excellent compliance in both customs and taxation. It also to visibly recognize that such entities and individuals are passionate and worthy citizens of our beloved Fiji.
The Gold Card initiative, which began in 2012, now has 64 members. Showers affected the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, cloudy conditions prevailed. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving just to the north of Fiji. Meanwhile, a high-pressure system to the far south of Fiji directs a strong southeast wind flow over Fiji waters. Savo recorded a cool 26 degrees today, while Nandi hit 32. Occasional showers over the interior and eastern parts of larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from possible afternoon or evening showers. Thursday's outlook, occasional showers over interior and eastern parts of larger islands, fine apart from possible afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And looking at our headlines again, the government has revealed it was and still is prepared to offer World Rugby more money for television rights in its bid to have the International Sevens Rugby broadcast in Fiji. A 24-year-old hotel worker has lost a life in a road accident in Wallaby, Suva early this morning, and the Fiji Roads Authority estimates the road damage bill from last weekend's flash flooding to be about $5 million. To this week's poll question, we're asking, was Fiji overconfident in its loss against Australia in the Dubai Sevens? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's our news for tonight. Join me again tomorrow. Ni Modamamba.